And we are live. Welcome back to the Sports Doyens IPL Daily Live. As you can see from Vipul today and all the yellow that he represents, we are going to talk about the Chennai Super Kings, the yellow love, the Whistle Podu Express, and the team off. As Siddharth has written, he's scared of the Chinnatala, but the Chinnatala and the Tala. Chennai Super Kings indeed is one of the beloved franchises in India, probably globally as well, for many reasons, including MS Dhoni's and Suresh Raina's and the Dwayne Bravos to, even the Ambatti Raidus and the Faf du Plessis. I mean, a fantastic team. Chennai Super Kings last year wasn't their year, but this year definitely not. That CSK will not qualify for the top four is what people think. Fingers crossed there, and as you can see, the panel is filled with a lot of Chennai fans and a lot of people who are scared of Chennai. So and one person who was a resident of Chennai. So it is me, Prathamesh, joined with obviously Siddharth Rege, Siddharth Vishwanathan. So we are missing on the third Siddharth every time. Afzal's here, Rohan is here, Rohan Raj Gulati Wat
Raj
apparently,
Gulatiwal.
and making his debut from the comments to the show, Vipul. Welcome, Vipul. The first question is to you, buddy. How are you feeling? Coming into this IPL.
Yeah, it's great to be a part of this the Sports Dawn live stream. Finally, I started following your channel a couple of months ago, and in cricket we received debut caps, and here I got my debut link from a movie star KD and Anurag Anna as well.
Oh
So
yes.
thank you to both of them.
Oh yes, yes, indeed. I mean, there is a movie star. There is Rohan who is trying to have some Coca-Cola. There is some Pepsi. I don't know who other sponsors are yet to arrive. But yes, if you guys are looking at, we are definitely up for it. Coming to the Chennai Super Kings, obviously, we talked about the fact that they weren't as good last season. A lot of optimism this season will be there around the Chennai Super Kings. Vipul, initially क्या लग रहा है आपको? What are your, I mean, how do you go into the season as a CSK fan? What are your expectations?
Look, CSK definitely they are known for their consistency, right? And last season, before the start of season, there were plenty of things that went wrong for them. First of all, plenty of players got COVID positive. Because of that, they had to extend their quarantine for another week. I guess for other teams it was 7 days. For CSK it was 13 or 14 days. And then Raina pulling out at the final moment, Harbhajan Singh as well. So a few key players were missing. Dwayne Bravo got injured. I remember he couldn't bowl that last over against Delhi Capitals, which could have made a difference. So yeah, and
Yeah.
also I guess an aging squad, we needed to make a bit of transition. This year we have signed in Moin Ali, Gotham. So I guess CSK they have given themselves more options, and there are some quality players coming back as well. So the chances look very bright this season.
Absolutely. I mean, a fantastic auction, I believe, for Chennai Super Kings, and we will come to that as well. But Siddharth Vishwanathan, I'm going to call one Siddharth and one Rege. I'm going to try to make this work today. Siddharth, obviously, before we come on to the auction performance, obviously, the return of Suresh Raina, the return of the guy who has scored the most number of runs for Chennai Super Kings over the years. Virat Kohli last season उनको overtake कर गए, but had Raina played, maybe that wouldn't have happened. And his return at number three is so crucial for CSK, isn't it?
I mean, see, why is Suresh Raina considered Chinnatala? I mean,
Yeah,
he's second to Dhoni for the sheer importance of the fact that he holds the batting lineup together. You can have the stability, you can just start your innings casually. Name any kind of a situation where Suresh Raina cannot contribute. One, he can be aggressive from ball one. That
yeah,
87 or 25 balls in 2014, that was just a small exhibition of the brilliance of Suresh Raina. He can
yeah,
also
And
hold the batting together, play all the way through. That 100 he made at the very beginning of 2012 or 2013, I don't remember the year,
2013.
2013. So, the importance of Raina, you missed a steady middle order. Your team composition got totally screwed.
yeah,
Dhoni and CSK, who are known to pick immaculate team compositions, in 2020 struggled. That is why they finished seventh. Otherwise, every single time, it was Rana holding the glue. But
yes.
he's back. That pivotal number three. And possibly, let us not rule out Cheteshwar Pujara coming back in.
Yes.
Yes, I'll tell you why. He has a T20 100. Let us not
Yes.
rule that out. He has a T20 100. He can do what Subramanyam Badrinath always did for Chennai Super Kings.
Yes.
Play
Yes. Yes.
through. Play through. So you've got solidity, you've got aggression. Remember, Faf and Raidu are your steady opening combinations. The return of Suresh Raina will ensure that the team is stable, something which they lacked in 2020. Welcome back, Chinnatala. We really missed you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
and I
mean,
mean, I
just
mean to put it in perspective, the difference that the addition of Surya Kumar Yadav made to Mumbai, that's what they missed with Raina last season. We were having this discussion on who should be in the Hall of Fame for every team. I think if there was the first WWE kind Hall of Fame award for the IPL, that has to go to Suresh Raina. I mean, as Siddharth said, it all he can play all kinds of roles. He has been consistent throughout, and we just saw. I mean, last season probably was the year Chennai had the most number of collapses. Correct me if I'm wrong. I
yeah.
think Mumbai against they had a collapse, and they tried so much. They pushed Sam Curran up there. They tried batting Watson at number one. Nothing worked. I know they got a new. They found Ruturaj Gaikwad at the end.
Yes.
As a great opening option, but you could just see that there was only one player who could just come back and straight away sort everything out for them. And that
Yeah.
is that is
I
why I
mean,
am absolutely scared of
Sid,
Chinnathala.
Sid, Sid mentioned again the collapses. Now you have to
Yeah.
also remember the lower order is not like the previous lower orders where MS Dhoni can drag it deep and finish the game off
Yeah.
with sixes. Let us understand that one thing. This is where Raina's role becomes quadruply important. If he's there till the end, it gives the likes of Dhoni and Jadeja and Sam Curran, whoever plays in that lower middle order, that confidence to go for broke. That was
Yeah.
the buffer which CSK lacked at the very beginning. If Raidu went, that's it. You had no middle order. अब
Exactly.
रैना आ गया है the middle orders are and see he's been an integral part of CSK. If it was not for the 2-year man, he would have been like Virat Kohli. He has played with the
Yeah.
same franchise for 12 years. But the
Yeah.
2-year ban happened, and that is why. But Raina is integral. He knows how to control a T20 innings, and this is the year where CSK fans can be very, very optimistic. I will still say cautious optimism because
Yeah.
experience matters. You still have a mixture of dad's army and youngsters, but youngsters are more in 2021. Let us not forget that.
Also,
Absolutely.
the
And
addition of Robin Uttappa, considering Vijay Hazare what kind of form he carried for Kerala, I think
yeah.
400 runs in 6 games. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Ape, there's a decent backup option also now. And also one
Yeah.
last point about Raina, he gives the openers also a fair bit of cushion to go for broke. So upar bhi you can
Yeah.
go for broke, niche also you can go for broke. So absolutely one character that was missing, and now you know he sorts everything out accordingly.
And
Abhi
Siddharth
CSK
also
feels like
said,
family.
yeah, as Siddharth said, for once Raidu went, there was no middle order. So they were missing Raina. A perfect example of that was the game against KKR in Abu Dhabi. I think they were
Yeah.
99 for 1 after 12 overs, chasing 160 or 170. The game was in their hands. Then they lost Raidu and Watson in a matter of couple of overs. And then after that, Varun Chakravarti just took the game away.
Look
That
at the
was that
smile.
was
Look at the
that
smile
was
on Rohan.
DK masterclass. That was DK captaincy masterclass. How he was handling the players on the field. So I can't
I
blame
mean, I'm
CSK.
not quite sure about his masterclass because I guess a couple of games after that he was sacked. So, yeah,
Yeah,
but maybe, I mean, their
that
strategy
is
was on point. So,
Let's be fair. That was more or
I
less a
mean, they
CSK
were holding
disaster
the
just than
spinners
a
back
KKR
for
masterclass.
MS Dhoni,
Yeah,
just
and it
a
worked.
thing for the host.
and it
These
worked. Yeah.
debutants trolling me is something not acceptable.
Dude,
I
it is India. Debutants shine. Haven't you seen Ishan Kishan and Surya Kumar Yadav recently? Haven't you seen the likes of Natarajan recently? This is what
Prasid
debutants do in
Krishna.
India.
Prasid
Prasid
Krishna.
Krishna.
I
Yes.
think Vipul just gave a teaser to what CSK gonna do against KKR in the season to come. I think it was just a teaser.
And Rohan, don't
Exactly.
worry, we both will troll them when KKR and RCB play the final, okay?
I mean, this is already getting proper banter material, and I will just take a few comments before I come to you, Afzal, about the auction.
Uh,
Siddharth is
no,
still in top.
I just wanted to hear KKR and RCB final. Okay,
Rohan,
that takes the
Rohan, do
cake
you?
even for parallel universe kind of a situation also.
That's not IPL. That's a separate league these two teams are playing.
Siddharth,
I know. Same.
I guess Rohan needs one more
Only
dose
two
of
teams will
the
participate
night a
and they
few
will
days
play a
back.
final among themselves.
रोहन को डोज की
Exactly.
जरूरत है परसों रात की I guess that is the thing that Rohan is missing in his life again. But yes, Anurag is there at 9:45. Started already. Yes, we did, as I said. Anurag again. If people think it's really Coke and Pepsi in the hands of Regan Gulati, they don't know anything. Salman's here. I don't know what you guys are doing, but keep it up. Thank you so much, Salman. We are talking about CSK today, so that's what we are doing. Rohan munching chakna on a Monday evening is the kind of life I aspire to have. Yeah, Rohan, जैसे तू आ जाता ना, people have aspirations in life. Like, look at the positivity that you bring. Rohan says that CSK middle order, Dhoni, Raina, Raidu are not playing any cricket except for IPL, not even domestic cricket. Otherwise, the team looks very balanced, barring injuries. Yes, match fitness would be kind of an issue at the start of the season, I feel. But then again, these players started a month earlier than anybody else, so I guess they will be prepared and sharp enough come the IPL. Mr. IPL, Suresh Raina can't really disagree on that. Varun, loving the Chinnatala appreciation, understatement to call it well deserved Mr. IPL for a reason. Absolutely. I mean, Chinnatala is Mr. IPL. Uttapa a few days back said he's eyeing 1,000 run season. Yes, I mean that is very optimistic, but if anyone can come close, it will be very marvelous. And then that guy is sitting in Afzal's team, unfortunately. So I mean, that is the real thing. Virat
973,
Kohli is the.
973. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he was only that final where he couldn't really get runs in. Unfortunately, otherwise he would have crossed that mark.
No,
Gaikwad
Uttapa,
and
I don't
Faf,
think he starts the
he
initial
doesn't
games. I
start.
think
Maybe he's talking about the next session then. Maybe I don't know. Gaikwad and Faf could be
Dream
openers.
11.
Dream 11,
Hand
yes,
cricket.
Dream 11. SR, which is Suresh Raina, can roll his arm over and also get crucial wickets. Yes, that's one point of Suresh Raina that I guess we totally just,
Class spinners.
eluded our brain. But then again, yes, Chennai do have a lot of spinners, and if they are looking for someone to at least bowl over in a very difficult scenario, Suresh Raina is one who can do that. And he's good for taking wickets. His fielding is also very critical to his team, as Rohit says. He increases fielding quality by a lot, which is a weakness for the old timers, is what he says. Pranav is here to talk about DK. He wasn't sacked. He gave away the captaincy for the betterment of the team. And Anurag's here, by the way, talking about picking the right days. MSD made his first 100 on this day in 2004. Yes, this is the day when MS scored his first 100 for the Indian cricket team. I mean, what a day to talk about CSK, right? We're getting our dates absolutely bang on over the last few days. And again, that's brilliant. Surya adds that 87 of 25 against Kings and Punjab was such a superb knock, clean hitting each and every ball. George Bailey put an end to the potentially best IPL knock. Yes, I
And
think he did.
Prathamesh, if you just don't mind, that 87
Yeah,
of 25, the most special thing about that innings was he was pulling Mitchell Johnson off the front foot. And Mitchell Johnson during that season, bowling at 90 miles per hour, he was in top form. And when he played that shot, Ravi Shastri literally he shouted, take that
yeah.
Mitchell Johnson. So that's how good Raina was at his peak.
I mean, wasn't that the year when Mitchell Johnson was like dominating everyone in the Ashes, and
He
then I think
dominated
the
the
season after that.
2014 Ashes and then the 2014 IPL, he faced this from Raina at the one kid.
Exactly. I mean, this is why
And
he is who he
Johnson was
is.
never the same again after that.
Ah,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
He he
and that's
was
why.
he was for the
Wait,
Mumbai Indians. He
that's why
was.
KKR got him again. कि अब तो
Yeah.
उसका टाइम खत्म हो गया तो KKR thought now he is a good option for us, and then
No,
at
no,
the
no.
end,
KKR thought
Is it?
Mitchell Stark is a good option for them, but as usual, Mitchell Stark got injured in March.
yeah,
And let's then we're not talking about Pat Cummins, no? Then let's just
Yeah.
uh,
drop it.
Yeah, we are not talking about Pat Cummins. My dad is asking Afzal to stop daydreaming about a KKR RCB final. uh,
कम से
Masoom
कम
says in
फाइनल में
today's
कम से कम सपने में तो फाइनल खेलने दो हमें, ऐसे तो खेलने
fair
वाले हैं
enough.
नहीं हम.
yeah.
Fair enough. Exactly. In today's practice match of KKR while chasing 88, Shubman Gill scored 76 runs, out of which 62 came in boundaries only. I mean, why were they chasing 88 in the first place? Isn't that worrisome?
It
But
was
okay.
Harbhajan Singh and Venkatesh Iyer's masterclass again, just to make it easy for the viewers. And DK wasn't batting. Yeah.
Did they
So
really chase 88?
yeah, they were dismissed. Yeah. Ben Cutting, Shakib, Tim Seifert, everyone gone. Matlab, it
I
was
mean,
sad.
worrisome if you're a KKR fan, but okay, we'll not talk about KKR. But I
Yeah,
mean,
please.
he's
Yeah, please.
worrisome. Shivam says, I mean, Shivam Pathak
Now,
should be
now
credited for
KKR
the
is collapsing. KKR is collapsing within themselves.
within
उसके टीम
themselves
ही
as well.
collapse
Like
करे.
यही बाकी रह गया था. Devdutt Padikkal is tested negative for COVID-19. He needs a few more negatives before he joins RCB camp in Chennai. Nitish Rana also tested negative, hasn't he? And he's joined the camp as well. Batsman with 130 plus strike rate in CSK 2018 and 19. MST, Sam Curran in 2020 and Jadeja. That's it. Truth is they don't have enough firepower, is what he says. Nathan talking in Hindi. Let's get this right. सबसे प्रभावशाली क्रिकेटर कौन बनेगा इस आईपीएल में? I mean, Nathan has been using Google Translate quite well, and I think he's been shocking us since yesterday by talking about this. And Johnson got hit by a six by Chawla as well. Yes, I remember that final when Piyush Chawla also hit Mitchell Johnson for a six. Nathan is actually speaking in Hindi. Raina's last good season was in 2018, is what Amit says. Gaikwad had the second lowest boundary percentage in IPL 2020. Lowest was Kohli, is what they say. Some residents near the Wankhede Stadium requested Uddhav Thackeray to shift IPL matches from the iconic venue. I mean, मेरे को तो ये भी लगता है कि सामने वो जो बच्चे खेल रहे हैं वो तो घर में बैठने चाहिए बट देन यू कांट डू दैट राइट आई मीन
See, anyway,
दैट्स
changing, anyway, shifting a venue, मतलब आप ये बोल रहे हो कि एक हॉटस्पॉट से दूसरे हॉटस्पॉट में जाने के लिए, I mean, it makes no sense.
एग्जैक्टली
The entire country is in.
they've asked it to
No,
shift
the
from
entire logic right now is to stay where you are.
Yeah,
Don't move
Avoid
around.
travel.
Yeah.
avoid
I mean,
travel.
I,
And
I
ऐसा
don't understand. I genuinely don't because what difference would it make if they shifted from Wankhede to say a DY Patil? I mean, like it's still going to be difficult for the players regardless.
नहीं,
It's
and
not like there are fans. I understand when fans come into the stadium, it's a hindrance because आपका sleep उस night के लिए disturbed है. I can totally agree. But no one's going to be there. What's your problem? Is it a light? I don't know. I mean, why
नहीं,
would then people have such
I
Maybe
mean,
strong?
maybe
see,
they
They
are
are not
scared
allowed
of
to
the
play
groundsman
loud
testing
DJ.
positive at Wankhede. बट अगर आपको डीवाई पाटिल शिफ्ट करना पड़ेगा तो वहां पहले बायो बबल बना ग्राउंड्समैन का, उनको ग्राउंड के अंदर स्टे दो, फिर उसके बाद सोचो ना. यहाँ पे इन लोग
Afzal, I'm worried what you do to people who test positive in the building then. I mean, that's really difficult to
yeah,
understand
so
कि कैसे होता
these
है.
no,
guys
I
have
mean,
kept the
it's
the
just
groundsman in the bio bubble on the stadium premises. So that is why it is a bio bubble for the ground staff as well in the stadium. तो अगर आप कहीं
Yeah,
no,
और
I mean, it
तक
makes
सोचोगे भी, so it
for
will take a lot
people.
of time.
See, I don't understand for the logic of people wanting to shift the venue. It is
yeah,
not that कि Mumbai के बाहर it's an island of tranquility. The situation is very
yeah.
bad all across India. तुम अगर पंजाब में करो, दिल्ली में करो, यूपी में करो, एमपी में करो, गुजरात में करो, situation is bad everywhere. राजस्थान में भी it's bad. So what is the logic of shifting? I just don't get it.
The basic logic is कि हमारे एरिया प्लीज हमें मत तंग करो, दूसरे लोगों को करना है तो कर दो. It's as simple as that. Normal Indian mentality. We can't do anything, so let's go
Okay, I
ahead.
think let's
Yeah.
let's move ahead from this. I think there's another news here that Shashank has brought forward to us. 14 people in the broadcaster bio bubble have tested COVID positive. Yes, that is also news that has come. It was
It
not a
can
collapse.
also be
KKR
the
wanted
fact,
Gill to.
yeah, it can also be
Yeah,
because Irfan Pathan returned from the road safety series, shot a preview with Zakir Khan in the Star Sports bubble,
yes, yes.
and he had met other people as well while doing a commentary for final few India England games. So I'm very scared about this news of 14 people from the broadcaster bubble testing positive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, this is really worrisome. Ryan had a strike rate of 132, is what he says, a correction by him. Particle actually tested positive on 21st March. The info didn't come out until a few days ago, is what Surya is saying. Amit is asking Shashank whether it is true. Yes, it is true. He came across this news on Inside Sports. I mean, Nathan's really freaking people out here. Moin Ali, अगर फॉर्म में है तो हार्दिक से बेहतर है. I mean, Nathan. I mean, as I said in the group chat, that the personal chat that we have, please refer to my comments over there. But yeah, I mean, if Moin Ali is better than
I
Hardik
mean,
Pandya, why
Moeen
not?
Ali, when he is on song, he is one of the best batters to watch because he can hit sixes
Yes.
effortlessly. But again, I mean,
No,
comparing to Hardik Pandya is
it's the banter which Nathan's bringing onto the show. That's the funny
Mhm.
part, isn't it? I mean, he's doing it in Hindi for all God's sakes. If Mumbai win their first five games, cancel IPL. Nothing is more important than the well-being of the people. Look at this. This is like Liverpool winning the title. This was the same scenario then. True, Anurag, can't see them winning again. Shashank Sharma only talking about COVID is what Anurag is saying. Okay, I mean, yes, a few comments have been done today. And I will come to Afzal. Afzal, IPL auction was going to be so crucial for CSK because, as people have been talking about, giving them nomenclatures like Dad's Army and what not. But I guess this was the auction where a lot of, gaps had to be filled in the squad. They gotten Moeen Ali, they also got in, Krishnappa Gautam, who could be really crucial come the second half of the season when, he can also bowl those off spinners along with hitting it really, big time. So I guess those two signings were really good by CSK. Also, I think they had to cover the bases which they have. And what do you make of that performance in the auction?
So I believe that CSK just revisited what they performed in 2020, and they
Yeah,
found out that Shane Watson had retired, so they needed someone to just tonk a few balls in the power play, make full use of it. So they needed an aggressor at the top. If not, they needed someone who can fill in that gap in the middle when Rainer returns. So
yeah,
just as Raina returned at number three, they found out that in the middle order they needed someone to play that aggressive knock, which they expected Sam Curran to play last year. He did show glimpses early into the innings, but in the middle overs it becomes difficult for someone like Sam Curran to hit those long shots because he's not used to it. So they went all out for Moeen Ali. They tried getting in Maxwell, and when Maxwell went out of budget, they went on to Moeen and they got him for very cheap, and that is why they got the chance to invest in Krishnappa Gautam as well, who gives them that cushion of an off spinner as well because they don't have an off spinner in
yeah,
their playing 11. If you see Jadeja and Imran Tahir, if you play Tahir in the playing 11, you don't have someone who can bring the ball back into the right hander. So that is
yeah.
why they got in Moeen Ali as well as Gautam, whom they can use in the later half of the stages wherein the pitches will start getting slower and slower due to the heat.
Yeah.
And apart from that, I believe that CSK is now in a much better shape than what they were in the last season. They have filled in almost all of their gaps. They just need to sort out the four overseas players that they'll play because it will be a conundrum if you play Raidu at the top or you play Gaikwad along with Duplessis. Do you play Moin? Do you play NGD or do you play someone like a Sam Curran and ignore Tahir out completely just like last year? So that is somewhere they need to get their combination right. You can't leave out Bravo. He has provided his services for so long now. So it becomes
Yeah.
very crucial for them to sort out their four overseas players. Otherwise, the squad looks perfect.
I mean, yes, the squad has been, built really well. I think this season, I mean, a lot of gaps that people were talking about, they have been potentially at least been filled on paper. लेकिन रोहन जब हम CSK के बारे में yeah Vipul, please continue.
Yeah, actually, what I wanted to mention is a vital cog that will be missing for them is Josh Hazelwood. I mean, I don't know why, but he has pulled out at the very last moment. And keeping in mind that they are going to play 5 games in Mumbai, I think two at the Eden Gardens and three at Chinnaswamy. And these are the
Yeah,
pitches where you want fast bowlers more than you want spinners. So, yeah, they still have Deepak Chahar and Lord Chargul has been exceptional for India. Let's hope he does
yeah.
really well for CSK as well. Then they have Lungi and Gidi as well. And then a couple of options in form of Sam Curran, Dwayne Bravo. They provide you all-round options. So yeah, they have covered all bases. But Josh Hazelwood, he will be a vital cog who will be missed, I guess.
काफी बड़े मिस है एंड आई गेस रोहन से भी मैं ये बात करने वाला था कि चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स इज वन ऑफ दोस franchises who do not always rely on current form or on youngsters as such मतलब कि ये बाहर से कोई exciting player आया है we will try them for them loyalty is also one of the factors that goes into team selection we've seen over the years just the example of Shane Watson right in 2018 when they won the IPL जब तक playoffs नहीं आए final नहीं आया तब तक Shane Watson was almost non-existent as an opener. Come the final, the guy smashes a century, and I guess over the years we have seen CSK face put a lot of trust in a lot of their players. Or ये season be obviously now that Hazelwood has gone out, Lungi and Gidi is one of the players who they have put a lot of faith in over the years, and he has left from South Africa recently. I think उसका photo आया था on the internet as well. So how important does Lungi and Gidi become now, and who could be a potential replacement for Josh Hazelwood? Yeah, they haven't announced it yet, but what do you think?
Firstly, I think जितना मैंने रीड किया है CSK are not planning to announce the replacement anytime soon. उन्होंने कहा है कि हम लोग विल सी क्या होता है, तो मे बी वो उनका बैकअप ऑप्शन है कि बीच में उन्हें लगता है कि लुंगियांगिडी नहीं चल रहा या समथिंग, या उन्हें ऊपर फाफ की जगह लाइक दे नीड समवन एक्सप्लोसिव, मे बी समवन लाइक एलेक्स सेल्स या कोई भी. सो सो दैट इज देयर मिड सीजन प्लान एज ऑफ नाउ. सो आई थिंक इट्स स्मार्ट बिकॉज राइट नाउ उन्हें नहीं पता कि उन्हें कहाँ पे रिप्लेसमेंट लगेगा, बिकॉज राइट नाउ उनका टीम इज सॉर्टेड, प्लेइंग 11 भी सॉर्टेड. या सर.
Agar, let me just throw in a bit of a googly here.
Yeah.
Hazelwood is your seam bowler, है ना, swing bowler है.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you are looking at a like to like replacement, मैं एक नाम बोलता हूँ, which is like you may think, okay, maybe it might work. Why not Tim Saudi?
In Saudi.
Why not
Yeah.
Tim Saudi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saudi was a brilliant death bowler which helped CSK in 2011. His
Yeah.
Yorkers at the death, and because they are going to play in the likes of Wankhede in Bangalore as well as Kolkata. Two out of the three venues, Saudi has got tremendous experience playing for Mumbai Indians and RCB.
In
Yes.
fact,
Yeah, he
Saudi
had
is
good
one of
experience.
those five
Russell
players who
topping him for
has
25 runs, I remember.
Yes.
Russell, when
Yeah.
he scored 48 of 13, Saudi
Yes,
was
sir.
stormed in the V, in mid wicket, everywhere. So Saudi is not
Yes.
a death bowler anymore.
I know. But again, one more option. Supposing Saudi is your leading six hitter in tests and T20s and ODIs. He's your good death overs option also with the bat. He can tonk runs also. If you're looking for a like to like replacement for Hazelwood, take Saudi. Because, okay, he may have not been at his best in the India T20s where he leaked runs in the death. His death
Yeah.
bowling mojo is gone. But he can still be
Yeah.
a vital option if you want, say, at the beginning of the innings. Why not?
Yeah. I mean,
My
that is really interesting.
Yeah.
Because if you get in Hales, if you get in Topley, where do you play them?
Yeah.
Forget
Yeah.
Dwayne Bravo. I am saying Dwayne Bravo might be a non-starter this season because of Sam Curran. You will bench
Exactly.
Sam Curran for Dwayne Bravo.
That's
Sam
not
Curran,
happening.
who almost pulled off a Houdini act in Pune in the third ODI. If CSK bench him, it will continue that mystery policy of theirs. In
Yeah.
2020, they didn't play Imran Tahir, which was a cardinal sin on those pitches. Why
Yeah.
didn't they play him? And Engidi not been the same since he was tonked by Jofra Archer against Rajasthan Royals.
Yeah.
So on these wickets, Engidi might not get that purchase. Get Sam Curran, get Jadeja, get Tahir for crying out loud. If you don't get
Yeah.
Tahir on these kind of pitches, then it's better that Tahir should quit the IPL altogether and quit playing for Chennai Super Kings because they missed a trick in 2020. They really missed it. On those spinning
Yeah.
decks and slow decks, couldn't you have gotten Tahir in? That is my IMHO in my honest opinion. Karan, then Moin Ali,
Yeah.
Faf, and who else can be the fourth? The fourth overseas player is actually a bit of a conundrum for CSK.
Yeah.
If you
It
look at
is.
it very deeply, because you
Yeah.
will not play two bowling all rounders. You won't play Karan, you won't play Bravo. You won't
No.
utilize
You'll
his
probably
bowling, you
play
won't utilize
NGD.
his batting.
Then
Yeah.
they'll probably play
But
NGD
you,
because of the
but
scenario.
Because if
you know,
you
I
play
think
Karan, he cannot be your death bowler. You only have
yeah,
Shardul to bowl
Yeah.
at the death if you play Karan.
Yes.
Yes.
So if you are looking at Bravo to be your death bowler, just like he was in 2012, 2013, when he used to come post the 13th over and bowl four at the death, he is not the
Yeah.
same anymore. And I guess he hasn't bowled too much at the death, even in the Caribbean Premier League as well. So who
Yes.
will be
Yeah.
your death bowler? And that is a big problem for CSK this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
CSK have a fourth. The fourth
that
overseas player is a big
yeah,
conundrum.
that is exactly I think why they're playing the waiting game, because I don't think
Yeah.
I think they realize they don't need a like for like replacement for Josh Hazelwood,
Yeah.
because they have bowlers like Deepak Chahar who can bowl in the initial overs. But if we saw if Ngidi was tonked by Fakhar Zaman also
Yeah.
in that game 2 days
Yes.
ago, so he
In that
won't be
in that same game,
in that
Sid,
confidence.
in that
Yeah,
same game and also in the first game, I think one bowler we saw and he could definitely be an option for CSK if they're looking at it is Felukayo. I feel he was excellent at death in both games. Bowled well, not the same quality obviously, but I think on the available options, I guess with Tim Saudi also getting tonked as we mentioned, Topley I guess is also rejected an offer from CSK is what
Yeah.
we heard.
Yes.
You
Because
know,
of bias.
because of the bio bubble and everything else and COVID, etc. in India. So I guess the options are getting narrower and narrower as the days come in. So maybe
So
someone like a fellow.
The
yeah,
best, the best. Fazal Haq Faruqi, get him in the playing 11. You know who's Fazal Haq Faruqi?
Yeah,
No,
he's in the Nets
There
right now,
was
no?
yeah, he's
there
in
was a
nets, right?
video.
The
There was a
Afghan.
video in which
Afghani bowler. Yes,
that
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Afghan
yeah,
left
yeah,
arm
yeah,
pacer bet Robin Uttappa and also troubled all the batsmen with his pace and left arm angle. And remember, not many teams have that left arm option except for Mumbai Indians with
yeah.
Trent Bolt and everything. So, and a left arm bowler who can bowl with pace and swing is an X factor. You
Exactly.
already have him in the nets. So
Yeah.
why not he be your X factor? I mean, the true X factor in a team
Yeah,
can
Maybe
be.
they are playing the waiting game and will
Yeah,
announce him as a surprise package. They can
Yeah.
do that.
exactly.
Also,
yeah,
Matt Henry has been talked about as well by CSK. So I mean, a
No,
lot
but
of
it will be
options for
difficult to
them,
get
but
Matt Henry
full
because
difficulty.
New Zealand has stringent measures against COVID, and they won't allow their people to travel. Where in this situation where India is reporting
Exactly.
over 100,000 cases a day.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
Yeah.
the problem, isn't it? So I guess CSK's options will also be medically hampered, but I think Siddharth is also right there with that they already have someone in the nets who's doing a good job. Why not offer him a contract and play him instead? Could be a good variation as well as he rightly talked about. And I will come back to you again, Sid. Jagadishan is someone that a lot of people have talked about, quite rightly so, because he had a very good domestic season. Again, Ruturaj Gaikwad finished last season really well, scored three fantastic 50s towards the end. And we have been talking about the likes of Raidu in the middle order, could be a potential that, Raidu hasn't played a lot of cricket, so maybe he doesn't still live up to the expectations. Might still start Raidu, but may not, keep continuing towards the end of the season. Do you see Jagdishan actually stepping into those shoes of Ambati Raidu over the course of the season?
Again, the team composition. I mean, this IPL 2021, I think CSK should begin with the likes of Jagadishan, Gaikwad, and R. Sai Kishore.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, if you look at it, you tried in 2020, the average age, who was the youngest? Sam Curran and Shardul Thakur were your youngest
yeah,
players on that side.
yeah,
When Rituraj came in, he struggled for 1-2 games, but then look at the way how he ended. That
yeah,
same momentum was carried by youngsters. CSK will have to change that basic thing. It's no longer dad's army. You have to blood youngsters in this IPL if you have any chance of competing with Mumbai Indians. Any
yeah.
chance. Get Gaikwad and you have Jagadishan. Jagadishan has been in such great form in the Vijay Hazare and Mushtaq Ali. R.
Yes,
Sai Kishore has been in such great form. Hari Nishant, all these guys. See, CSK have scouted well for local talent this time in the
yeah,
IPL auction. Give them an option. Why do you want to bench them if you bought them? Gaikwad at the top would be great. But with Jagadishan and Sai Kishore, I'm wondering where on earth will you play them? Because
yeah,
Jadeja is there. You've got Karan, you've got Dhoni, you've got Raina, you may have Cheteshwar Pujara, Faf,
yeah.
Rituraj, Raidu. So where do you play these guys? That's the main question.
Exactly. That's a big question. Yeah, coming to you, Afzal.
Yeah, so I like the fact that CSK should play R. Sai Kishore. He has been performing really well in the TNPL as well and in the domestic circuit. But the main problem for Sai Kishore is that CSK are not playing 7 games at Chepauk. If they would have been playing 7 games at Chepauk, they would go with three spinners, Jadeja being the one, Tahir being second, and the third person would definitely be Sai Kishore. He has been
And
waiting in the
Afzal, you're
ranks for
missing out on
three years, I
Afzal,
guess.
you're missing out on Krishnappa Gautam. You're missing out on Krishnappa
Yeah, yeah.
Gautam.
Yes,
Your
yes.
opening
I
bowler,
know.
potentially
Yeah,
your opening bowler.
Yes, yes. You have various spinners, but Sai Kishore has been waiting in the ranks for, I guess, this is his third year with the franchise, and he has still gotten
yeah,
around 1 or 2 games, if I'm not wrong.
2 games.
So
he,
he is someone
Hmm.
with
he
great
didn't.
potential.
Last year
So
he didn't
they,
play, no?
yeah, he
He
didn't play
didn't play
last year,
last
but
year.
I guess he
Yeah,
got at least 1 game, if I'm not wrong. Maybe so. He is one guy who can be your X factor. Jadeja just can dart the ball in. Sai Kishore flights the ball. He uses his
Yeah,
guile and then deceives the players in flight. So if CSK would have played in spin favoring pitches, Sai Kishore would be definitely a sure shot starter. But with the games moving out and CSK no longer having that home advantage, Sai Kishore will again not
But
find
Abdul,
us place in the playing 11.
just to add, I think Mumbai में ना साई किशोर की bowling could actually be very good because he's tall and Mumbai के pitch पे you get bounce and
Yeah,
Sai Kishore is not a very
you
big
get
bowler
bounce, you
of
get
the
proper
match.
bounce.
Yeah,
हाँ
you
लेकिन
get bounce
Yeah.
हाँ
and I think Mumbai के
Or
pitch में
Rohan,
he could
Rohan,
do an
Mumbai's
extra
Mumbai's pitch
maybe.
has turn as well, which is very underrated. People
Yes.
don't seem to understand the fact that Mumbai की pitch पे turn भी है, Mumbai के pitch पे bounce भी होता है. It's a very unique pitch in India, and I think
And
that
Yeah,
could be
and we
really
are
लेकिन
helpful.
क्या
and
आप
we are
वहाँ पे तीन
and we
स्पिनर
are not
खिलाओगे?
even talking about Mitchell Santner. We are not even
Santner.
talking about other spinner in the
Exactly.
side.
Yeah,
No, no.
Mitchell Santner.
See,
Yeah.
the problem is
It's
you'll have Jadeja in the side. He's your
Yeah.
yeah,
starter, sure shot in the playing 11. Moin Ali will start. So your two spinners are locked in. If
Yep.
yeah.
if you are playing Tahir,
yeah.
he's your third spinner. And then adding Sai Kishore, do you think that you will be playing three spinners in a track like Wankhede? I don't think so.
No,
No. No.
Apart from
no.
Chennai or say Delhi, there are no other grounds in India where you will play three spinners in a T20 game. Unless and
Yeah.
until the pitch is a very rank turner like what we got in the Syed Mushtaq Ali
Ahmedabad.
final at Ahmedabad. Yes.
Yeah.
So अगर वैसी कोई पिच
In
नहीं
the
है तो आप तीन
playoffs, that
स्पिनर
could be a good
खिलाओ ही नहीं.
option though, Afzal. Playoffs में
या
बहुत अच्छा
अगर
option हो
वैसी
सकता है ये.
बनती है, अगर पिच
Hmm.
वैसी एकदम खराब बनी है, बहुत ड्राई विकेट है, अंडर प्रिपेयर्ड विकेट है, तो वहां पे आप तीन स्पिनर आग बंद करके खिला लो. लेकिन अभी के लिए वानखेड़े में या ईडन गार्डन्स में या चिन्ना स्वामी में आप तीन स्पिनर्स नहीं खिलाओगे, आपकी बॉलिंग
नहीं
लाइनअप की
खिला
वाट
सकते.
लग जाएगी.
Yes.
Exactly. And coming to you, Vipul, on this very question, Jagdishan का obviously आपने भी देखा होगा काफी अच्छा खेल रहे हैं. Do you think he makes into this team ahead of Raidu? I personally felt that loyalty might just push Raidu for the start, but then I guess Jagdishan would eventually,
I think
end the season for CSK.
Yeah, I mean, at the start they will probably go with Raidu, but again, you cannot ignore or underestimate what Jagdishan has done. He has been the top scorer
Yeah,
of TNPL for 2 seasons, I guess, and then in SMAT
yeah,
at the start of this year, I mean, he was on fire. You look at his strike rate, you look at the number of runs he scored. He was the top run getter. The
yeah,
most important thing for me is whenever you play a youngster, make sure that you give him a position where he's most comfortable at. The reason why
yeah,
Ruturaj was struggling at the start of the season last year was because he's an opener and you made him bat at number 4, number 5. That's why,
yeah,
if you remember, against Rajasthan, he went for a big shot, stepped out of the crease straight away, and got stumped. So
yeah,
I guess if you're starting with a youngster, make sure that you give them a position where they are comfortable at, and then once they start performing, maybe then you push them out of their comfort zone. So for
yeah,
Jagdishan, he opens for Tamil Nadu in domestic cricket. So again, the question is, you have a settled opening combination in Ruturaj and Faf, who did really well last season. So will you
yeah,
drop one of them to make place for Jagdishan, or maybe, I mean, playing him at number 4 or number 5 does not actually make sense for me.
And it
yeah.
did not work last year, right? I think
It
Jagdishan
did.
got a couple of games, and
Yeah,
I think at number 4, and I think one was a duck. I remember the other one I don't remember, but
हाँ
didn't work
ट्वेंटी
yeah.
well.
थर्टी ट्वेंटी थर्टी का स्कोर था ज्यादा कुछ मत बोलो मेरे तमिलनाडु के बंदे से हाँ
He got
Okay,
he
I will.
got 30.
या 30
Yeah,
समथिंग
30 something, yes. But I think Jagdishan, Shahrukh Khan, and I guess DK also were pretty good for. Uh, I mean, recently in the Syed Mushtaq Ali as well as in the Vijay Hazare Trophy for Tamil Nadu. Obviously, Syed Mushtaq Ali, which Tamil Nadu won once again under the leadership of Mr. Dinesh Karthik. Just something for Rohan to be extremely happy about before I take the comments. Um, yeah, here we go. Masoom says it looks in Nathan's parody account. Masoom, ये उसका parody account नहीं है. It is actually Nathan who's pulling things off since yesterday night. Siddharth is like, where is the propaganda filter, Anurag? This was about the Mumbai Indians comments made previously. Nathan typing in Hindi. Yes, Nathan is booking us with Hindi. That's really good to see. I want to see an aggressive opener, is what Shashank says. किसी को भी खिलाओ. Be it Ruturaj, Robin, Faf, Moin, Karan, or bring in someone for Hazelwood. But कोई जबरदस्त बाज स्मिथ वॉटसन जैसा is what he's saying. Not judge me, but I don't see Rituraj to be a sure shot opener in this season, irrespective of his 100 and Vijay Hazare trophy, is what he is saying. Uh, Star is concerned about their broadcast crew, is what Masoom has added. Um, if the ground staff and the event management team is getting COVID-19 infected, the same can happen to Stars Crew, is what he's saying. And Kushagra is, very spookily joined us as well, all of a sudden from nowhere, wearing a yellow T-shirt. I mean, I'm guessing that he's, joining in for the full support of Tala and Chinnatala and obviously the Chennai Super Kings. It's good to see you, have you back, Kushagra, and I will give you your duties back, as soon as I'm done with the comments. It will be interesting if CSK can get Hales as a replacement for Hazelwood, could come in handy if Duplessis is on fire on the top. Yes, that is why I guess CSK are waiting to see who actually fails before they could sign the replacement. That's a very, I guess, a very good strategy in a way. Haters का कुछ करना पड़ेगा. Shivam is what Shashank is saying. CSK still has a core of the old squad. They will start slow. Till then, KKR MI qualification will be far away from them. Okay, reportedly CSK has asked Stanley and Topley to replace Hazelwood. Both of them who said no. Hazelwood has played 2 games last year. He's a good bowler, but T20 में थोड़ा मुश्किल है, is what he's saying. Topley rejecting the IPL offer is a fake news. He's eagerly waiting to get a contract for the IPL. This is interesting. I mean, fake news is back. Hazelwood should be replaced by Saudi, is what Shivam also agrees with you here, Siddharth. Reportedly, I'm not sure the source what Rohan says. Um CSK vice captain is not decided yet because Suresh Raina wasn't the vice captain last year. They said they haven't signed anyone for Hazelwood and they're not in a hurry as well. Amit says why Saudi average 46 with the ball in ball, please. Okay. लगता है सिद्धार्थ विश्वनाथ मेरे ऑप्शन से एग्री करता है for Hazelwood. Yes. Atul Kumar is back in the comments. Welcome back, Atul. CSK will most likely adopt horses for course strategy. Dhoni is experienced and very good reading the pitches, so while selecting bowlers and all-rounders will depend on the surface that they are playing. Yes, very well. Tim Saudi played for CSK in 2010-11, I guess. Yes, you are right. Saudi also 46 with the ball in the IPL. Sam Curran brings the average age to under 40, is what Nathan's saying. That's why not Saudis, what Amit is also talking about. The denial report is reported by Times of India, but he wants an IPL contract reported by Niall O'Brien. Okay, I mean, there are a lot of, let's say there are differences between the Indian and the English media. Saudi is also part of MI, so he has experience of playing in Mumbai. Apparently, CSK love buying players, MI players, so it makes sense. Yes, I mean Ambati Raidu, Harbhajan Singh, Wayne Bravo, and the list continues. Sam Curran is definitely playing all 14 games. I think. I guess the panel unanimously would agree with this. CSK's average age this year is 30, which I guess is fine. I don't think 30 is a very bad average age considering cricket. I mean, players go on to 38, 40, so I guess 30 is not bad at all. Thanks, Masoom. Siddharth Vishwanathan stole my thoughts. Siddharth, काफी अच्छा आप thought stealing कर रहे हो आज. That's good to see. Saudi in the IPL 2019 averaged 118 with the ball. That's incredible. Saudi has been part of RCB and RR. सब credit MI को दे दो बस. I mean trophy MI के साथ जीता ना. That's the difference,
अरे
guys. I
अच्छी
guess.
अच्छे बात में उसको क्रेडिट दे रहे हैं मुंबई के लिए. रन लीक करने के बारे में बात करते तो आरसीबी की बात करते ना.
नहीं
सब
नहीं,
सब
ट्रॉफी सीएसके के साथ भी जीता था, सिर्फ एमआई के साथ नहीं जीता.
अरे
Oh
लेकिन रन तो
yes.
हमारे लिए लीक किए ना. इम्पोर्टेंट हुआ.
I like this banter brewing here. I will throw a googly as well. What if Mumbai matches are shifted to Hyderabad? Navjeevan, if that happens, I guess whoever is playing in Mumbai, especially Chennai Super Kings, would be happy about this because Hyderabad mein you have slightly longer boundaries and then your spinners would definitely come into the game. अरे
टू
credit
पेस
नहीं है,
विकेट.
just that he knows the conditions. Yes, it is a two-paced wicket as well. Lungi Angidi के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. 16 with the ball in the IPL and Sid wants to replace him with Saudi, who averaged 46 with the ball. The difference is that Lungi Angidi recently has been in very, very bad form. Also, to add to all of that, Lungi Angidi doesn't look the same kind of bowler. He leaks around 45, 40, 45 runs to get 2 or 3 wickets. That's a major problem for CSK as well. Yeah, Afzal.
Yeah. So I don't believe this statistic because it is skewed. How does Lungi average in the first 6 overs at the death against top five batters against the tailenders? That
Yeah.
is the main statistic that you should look into. Just simply looking at the statistic from a broader perspective doesn't solve the problem.
एंड ऑल्सो जस्ट
Absolutely,
टू
I guess.
शॉर्ट में अगर सऊदी का रसल के साथ वाला हटा दे तो इफ वी सी द स्टैट्स इट माइट बी क्वाइट गुड बिकॉज रसल ने एकदम खत्म कर दिया था.
That was that one memory, right? Like people will remember that very for a very long time. But I guess apart from that, Tim Saudi has been pretty decent in the IPL. Lungi Ngidi will take 3 wickets, but will 40, 45 runs. Yes, I guess this is what happens with him. Matt Henry लेके आ जाओ यार, pace भी काम आएगा. But I don't think Henry moves here. I would once again say bring in Neil Wagner as a replacement. The best bowler can bowl 8 hours a day to Pujara and give him practice for WTC finals. I like this. I like this thought process here. Fazal Haq Faruqi could do a Jogendra Sharma for MSD. यार ये बहुत ही मजेदार हो सकता है if they you're looking for that. It would be really brilliant to see what happens with Faruq. भाई वैगनर भी नहीं आएगा जस्ट लाइक हेजलवुड क्योंकि अब पुज्जी ने 6 मार रहा है नेट्स यार पुजारा's video when he was just smashing for fun. It was so good to see. The best part about it was all of them were cricketing shots. He didn't change his technique, बस वो एक extension of the arms and the ball was flying away. That was just so beautiful to watch in the nets. If there is a Afghan SRH is ready, I guess that's true. CSK remind me of Rising Pune Super Giant team is batting heavy when it comes to bowling. It's Bhagwan Bharose. Even Shardul and Deepak can go for runs. Deepak tried a terrible season last year. MSG tried him to death as well. चेन्नई में मिचेल सैंटनर भी आ जाता है yes. Masoom has given his 11 as well. Ruturaj Faf, Raidu, Raina Moin, MST, Jadeja, Chahar, Thakur, Thayr slash Santner or any replacement bowler basically. I don't know why Pujara shot in the nets are being taken so seriously today. Vijay Shankar was tonking Rashid Khan in the nets. Don't think nets matter. I guess there is a little bit of goodwill along with Pujara as well, which is why people are genuinely happy. Let them be happy. I mean that's the good part. Jaddu needs to bat in the top five is what Amit is
That's
saying,
a
and Dhoni.
that's a good book title for Natarajan, right? Don't think the nets matter.
Ooh.
Nice one, nice one.
Absolutely. I mean, for people who think nets don't matter, Natarajan is an excellent example, as Suresh pointed out very beautifully.
And
Nets
Sundar as well.
add Sundar as well. Yes, Washington Sundar, who did not play for, I guess, red ball cricket since 2017, and then Gabba, obviously. No,
And dog is now
okay.
named Yama.
Yeah, my electricity is gone, but I guess my internet's fine, so I can still continue because of the brightness on my face. No Jaggi, I don't see him.
Or
Raidu will play
Javindera.
40. Electricity is gone. I don't know what to say, but yes, I do play 14 games, 100%, and MSD will bat up so hardly any position left. Kushagra, I am very spooky right now. I want to take over the comments.
I'll do that. I'll do that, man. Thank you so much for covering for me right there. बहुत सारे comments है, guys. First of all, welcome to Vipul. Of course, welcome to the channel, man. I know it's the first time you're guys coming on. So
Thank you for giving me my debut cap, aka debut link.
always, man, always. So as we had discussed, I think
No
for all
RTM
the other
next year.
viewers, you didn't discuss. Yeah, I know. So yeah, as we had discussed, but not with Reggae apparently, but as we had discussed in general, we try to get more people who are regularly watching to come onto the channel, and it only helps us. It only helps us bring in more opinion and interaction, बढ़ता है, which is fantastic for us. I'll just try to figure out where Pratnesh was right at the end. Saudi ho gaya, yeah. He's not. Yeah, we did the Pujara Afghan. Yes. Okay, all right. Thank you, Pratnesh. I think तू नहीं select कर लिया मेरे लिए, so thanks. Rohit, net sessions do matter because sometimes selections are made from there. Yeah. I remember. Doesn't matter, Shivam, but I would like him to bat at 4. I think that's talking about Jaddu, not MSD. MSD is not the MSD of eras gone by. Amit says, all right. No, Jaggi, I don't see him. Raidu will play 14 games, 100%. MSD will bat up so hardly any position left. Who are you talking about, Shashank? Sorry, I don't know. किसकी बात हो रही है? And I don't think Raidu can play 14 games. Even in a normal season, I don't think. Huh?
जगदीशन की बात हो रही है नंबर 4.
यार हाउ डू यू नॉट प्ले जगदीशन मतलब मुझे समझ नहीं आएगा राइडू जिनका हैमस्ट्रिंग्स विद ऑल ड्यू रिस्पेक्ट आर लाइक सम ऑफ द वर्स्ट हैमस्ट्रिंग्स देयर हैव एवर बीन गिवन टू अ पर्सन ठीक है लाइक ही कैन नॉट सस्टेन 14 गेम्स he cannot when has he ever sustained 14 games you have to be careful with how much you use Raidu you have to be careful and Jagdishan was probably your along with Sam Curran your two biggest finds last season का Jagdishan Sam Curran and maybe Ruturaj Gaikwad भी बोल देंगे आप तो these three were the players of the season for CSK to whatever extent you could be so I would really hope that they give Jagdishan a part oh अच्छा no Jaggi means Jagdishan all right fair enough I did not calculate but yeah Amit top 5 is very much packed for CSK of most he can come at 6 all right Masoom Rege से बुलवाओ कुछ 5 मिनट में रैप कर देगा पूरा एनालिसिस all right one thing that CSK they definitely need to change is their batting approach. The way they bat in the first 15 overs is so boring. Hi, yeah, I think it was something like what India also used to do earlier, wasn't it? We've seen a change of approach from India. I think it's only a matter of time. We want to see a change of approach from CSK as well. They need to start hitting from the start. At the average of 30 and a strike rate of 170 in the last IPL. So of course, I mean, you'd want players like that in your team for sure. The hell does he need to do to get more balls? Could we see Moin in the Moin opening? He played a few games for RCB at the top, did well in one game, if I'm not wrong. He also opened for England on numerous occasions. I think that's a question we could put to the panel, but I hardly see it that happening because CSK was already बहुत सारे ऐसे players हैं
Yeah.
जो open कर सकते हैं, and Moin would fit them perfectly at number 6, number 7 as that hitter. Maybe number 7 actually, because considering आपके पास रायना, जडेजा, धोनी तीनों हैं, and मेरे हिसाब से ये तीनों start करेंगे. If all three of them are starting, and you
Yeah.
want to find a place for maybe a Rayadu as well, then I suppose Jagdishan becomes a doubt. My point is, आपको आप रायडू को खिलाइए या रैना को खिलाइए. Don't play Raidu and Raina both. Give that spot to Jagdishan, who's been performing in Syed Mustaq Ali, who performed in Vijay Hazare, who's performed for Tamil Nadu in general, who's performed for CSK last season as well, and who's also an up and coming player, जो कि franchise जिसको अगले 5 साल तक view कर सकती है, ये हमारा player है, हमारे लिए run बनाएगा, homegrown player है, we can actually bank on him. Yeah, Bipul.
But if we play Jagdishan, then again the problem is you'll have to start with Ruturaj and Jagdishan at the top, drop Faf du Plessis at number 3, and then maybe have Raidu at 4. So there are two problems. You have two youngsters to open the innings, so a
Yeah.
bit you are lacking a bit of experience at the top,
Bipul,
and then
my
at the
question
same
is,
time, yeah.
just if you could answer this as well. Really, is Jagdishan really a youngster?
No, I mean he has been part of CSK for 3 seasons now. They bought him in
He played
2018.
domestic cricket for a long time.
Yes. But my
So
point is the other
do we
is.
not give him the responsibility? I would have taken your point last year. He's played the entire season, proved himself in alien conditions. These are conditions he knows.
Yeah, I completely
I
agree
think
with
you guys
that. In
give him the
fact, I
opportunity.
feel they shouldn't be starting with Raina because he has played, I guess, only 5 competitive games post 2019 IPL final. So maybe just give him a bit more time. He also joined their practice camp quite late. So they can start with Ruturaj and Jagdishan at the top, then Faf at 3 and Raidu at 4. The only problem there is then you don't have a left-hander in the top 4. And nowadays with leg spinners, the way they target against right-handers, that can be an issue for them.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I'll quickly take a few more comments and I'll come to you guys. I know Afzal had to push, so massive thanks to him. I couldn't really say thanks to him there. So thank you, Yaar Afzal bhai. Thank you for joining. Give him any kind of a notice. That man is always so sporting, always joins. The wonderful person to have for our lives. So do check out his own content as well. There's his. I think the average
Average
cricket
cricket
fan.
fan. Yeah.
Average cricket fan is the name of his Insta page. So do check that out. So Yasho has a question. According to you all, who's been the 5 more? All right, Yasho, we'll probably.
This is
I
an
know.
all-time
You've been.
list.
He's been doing this on his channel. He's been doing this on his
Yeah.
Insta profile as well. Yasho, give us some time. हम लोग, we'll. I know you already have a few answers there. Shashank has also answered. Bravo has to be there. All right. Shivam's also come out with his answers. We'll try to hear. What is with Bravo exclusion all 2-time purple cap? All right. I mean, again, the whole conversation shifted to top 5 forever players for CSK. It's fantastic. It's fantastic how one comment just absolutely changes the narrative of the whole
Changes the
discussion.
narrative exactly.
Yeah. I can only see top 5 discussions here. On this day in 2019, Russell and Nehraji combined to destroy Saudis.
IPL star, yeah, absolutely.
I love how
And
he put
Nehraji's tactics were one of the reasons what people are saying back in the
ऐसा
day.
कुछ नहीं है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है.
ऐसा कुछ
फिर
नहीं है यार.
नेहरा जी is a legend.
यार
Nehra ji is
Ashish Nehra is a
nothing
legend,
to
dude. Just watch his performance against England in the World Cup 2003.
yeah,
काफी है.
yeah.
Standing up and applauding the net bowlers comment. Sid Rege has given writers the title conundrum of solution.
Yeah.
Why is Sid Rege-
It's ironic how a person who works on TV is able to give fancy titles.
हाँ बोल लो लिंक मैंने भेजा है विपुल और कैप क्रेडिट केडी वाज चीफ सेलेक्टर
Interesting how I started and hosting the show, welcomed Vipul, and I didn't get any credit. But okay, fair enough.
no, but that's not the
No,
credit is
just
not for
to
it.
tell everyone, I'm a CSK fan and I was welcomed by an MI fan. So we don't support
Yes.
any kind of discrimination here on TSD.
Basically, Anurag did a Gautam Gambhir, but KD and MSD took the credits. Oh God, मतलब थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो
Oh,
रहा है.
why are we
We're
going down
discussing
that road?
MS's team. We're discussing
Yeah.
MS's team. Come on, guys. I don't crib. All right. No one does, man. 2018-19, Raidu played all games. I'm talking about 2021 version of Raidu, yeah. That's the version I'm talking about. Injury में
Yeah,
जगी
not
and
really.
2019 तो खेलना ही था ना. The 3D got him pissed off, so had to play. Problem with NGD is that he's not consistent enough. Has a knack of picking wickets, but again,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what we've been discussing. Who is very
fair enough.
expensive.
Yeah.
9 to 10 का रन रेट पे जाते हैं वो. चलो बाय, कल न्यू टीम न्यू स्ट्रीम पर मिलते हैं. कल इज दिल्ली कैपिटल,
Yes.
तो जरूर मिलना है यार शशांक.
Yeah.
Delhi
Okay.
tomorrow is Dhoni today, Pant tomorrow, creating controversy as always, Anurag.
How,
I don't
Kushagra,
think so.
hasn't our selection with dates been impeccable in this entire stream?
Yeah, I think the first match for CSK is DC, right? PP को हर बात में FOMO होता है. All right, that is true. That is true, Anurag.
Well, yeah, that is
Absolutely
true. I
true.
won't
Anyway,
disagree there.
quickly I'll come to you. I'll come to you first, Sid. I'll come to you, Reggae. Then after him, then I'll come to you. Sid, I know. We all had this discussion around who starts, who plays, what are your expectations, and everything else. But as I was having a discussion with Vipul as well, a point that he came out with, and I was listening to you guys as well earlier as well. You were discussing the fact कि इनके बहुत सारे players हैं जो कि sort of lack of real match practice से आ रहे हैं. Pratmesh was also mentioning on that comment. Point one being, does that really make that much of an impact at this point in the IPL when so many of your players playing in the IPL इतना varied level of experience है. कोई बंदा 6 महीने से नहीं खेला होगा, कोई 3 महीने से नहीं खेला होगा, कोई 4 महीने से नहीं खेला होगा, and so on and so forth. Secondly, once you take that factor into mind, then why do you even pick? I understand why do you even pick Raidu? Raidu ने कौन सा cricket खेला? So I mean, the question comes in over Raina, but Raina, if you're just purely looking in terms of his contribution history, आप चिन्ह ताला की आप लोग बातें कर रहे थे, then surely over the likes of even MS at this point, I think you would start Raina. But MS is of course the captain, so he starts. So therefore, Raidu doesn't, right? Today's team is Raina. I know, Rege. I know.
I mean, it's a very, very complicated situation. I mean, a COVID break, plus all this. I think, why don't you have a combination of both? Man lete hain, okay? Rituraj played in Vijay Hazare and Saeed Mushtaq Ali.
Yeah.
Start him. Raidu did not play, but then he is vital because remember, 2 or 3 wins in IPL 2020 was because of Raidu. It was after Raidu's injury that the entire CSK winning momentum was snapped. Their team composition went awry. You couldn't know who fitted in Raidu's spot. So you play Raidu. Dhoni, Raina and all have not played competitive cricket, but that is not their fault. They have retired. They retired from all forms. So for experience, for tactical acumen, play them. You've gotten the likes of Shardul, you've got the likes of Deepak Chahar, you've got Santner, you've got Tahir. Jadeja, he got that injury in Australia, so he's back. He's up and running. Play Cheteshwar Pujara. If you want solidity, like how Subramanyam Badrinath provided at the very beginning of CSK tenure. See, anybody...
यार पुजी, let's not underestimate what पुजी can do because I mean yes लोग बोल रहे हैं नेट्स का एंड हमने नेट्स का हमको एक रिस्पांस भी काफी अच्छा मिला है सिद्धार्थ से. But having said all of that, Cheteshwar Pujara at the end of the day, he's an expert in manipulating the field. In T20, that is a very underestimated value that you need to have as a batsman.
Fun fact, Cheteshwar Pujara scored a T20 century much before Dhoni and Raina. तो ये आप बिल्कुल बिल्कुल डिस्काउंट नहीं कर सकते हो इस बात को. You want
Yeah.
solidity. That was something which CSK lacked in 2020. So you got a mixture of players who have not played, players who have played. One. Second, you've got a mixture of dad's experience, plus you've got youngsters also. So team composition is very, very important, which was lacking in 2020. कोई team combination नहीं था, कोई team composition था नहीं. They were clueless what to do with Raidu missing. Oh, what do we do? What do we do? That won't happen. They have got backup. How MS Dhoni plays the team, play Tahir. Bhai, he's a spinner. Economical hoga. In the middle overs, you need economy. Play him. The fourth overseas guy is the only conundrum that CSK have. Who is your fourth overseas player? Faf, Karan, then possibly Tahir. Do you
And
play
Moeen.
Dwayne Bravo? Moeen Ali. You play Dwayne Bravo. I would say he will not play this year. He shouldn't. Because he is
Yeah.
become a liability. Injuries
Yeah,
kitna hua hai
so
Dwayne Bravo ko?
exactly, and the thing is, I think थोड़ा सा तो even in terms of जो कहते हैं ना धार उनकी bowling में वो गई है. I need that element of surprise that he used to bring those cutters, those yorkers, those slower bouncers, all of those things. They weren't coming out
We
right from his
can
hand last
we
time.
can rely on past glory. हाँ, Bravo took 32 wickets. वो अभी भी unparalleled है. कोई नहीं लिया in a single season. But you have to figure out teams and oppositions have figured out Dwayne Bravo. Teams and oppositions have figured out MS Dhoni का blueprint क्या है. It is not
बिल्कुल
2013 or
बिल्कुल
2014 anymore. 2020 में bowlers are much more aware. Bowlers ज्यादा wiser है. They know हाँ ये आखिरी ओवर तक खींच लेगा. He'll take it to the last ball. Let us make things even more difficult for him. They have figured that out. It needs
Yeah.
a new outlook. They can play around with the squad as much as they want for this year. क्योंकि याद रखिए 2022 में everybody is going into the auction pool, barring 3-4 marquee players. So go for broke. IPL 2020 में go for broke. यही मैं
हाँ
बोलूंगा.
anyway
Team
आपका
composition
पूरा
clear रखो. हाँ,
नहीं fair
team
enough
composition clear रखो. That's it. Keep the team composition clear. If you don't have that clear, God help you.
नहीं क्लैरिटी तो चाहिए ही होगा बट यू
Right.
राइट देयर सिड. आई थिंक एज यू से कि क्योंकि ये आखिरी सीजन है बिफोर योर मेगा ऑक्शन एंड बिकॉज ऑल ऑफ योर टीम कंपोजिशन एंड ऑल ऑफ योर टीम elements are going to change. At best you might have 2 or maybe 3 players that are for sure going to be retained by a franchise. उसके अलावा almost पूरा squad आपका change होगा. A lot of teams might just change their entire coaching system as a coaching management as well. They might change their entire
Yeah.
background staff as well, depending on the performances this year. So agar if you're going to start from zero again anyway, so might as well put in every last resource that you have for a miracle this year. So yeah, fair enough. I'll agree with you there, Sid. Come to you, Rege, now. Rege, the question is slightly different from what I asked Sid. It's more to do with the on the lines of we did Pratmesh and Anurag did a video about the CSK starting 11. Now whether they play in Mumbai or they get shifted to Hyderabad or not, I don't know if that makes that much of a difference in given the
So, but the
circumstances.
BCCI has confirmed that it's going to be in Mumbai because anyway they're in
Yeah,
a
I
bubble.
mean, but yeah, I mean, they can confirm, but if the cases go out
Yeah.
of hand because tomorrow onwards the lockdown in Maharashtra is more severe, right? So,
Yeah.
one would just hope that things सब वहाँ पे stabilize हो जाएं. It's just still too close, like what 4 days left for everything to start. I don't know 4 दिन में how do you bring everything to a closure? But then again, we've been seeing this happen concurrently in football in other sports as well, right? Your cases have risen, but the bio bubbles have not been reached, and things like the Premier League, the La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, and all of kept on carrying through. They've carried through last season, they're carrying through this season, and they'll carry through into the summer tournaments as well. Similarly, F1 is back, tennis is back, badminton started to happen. All of these things, regardless of COVID, is happening. So I don't think that particular aspect would make them change the venue from Mumbai to Hyderabad. It could possibly be if there is possibly a breach, which let's hope doesn't happen. Anyway, we'll come back to that. Sid, my question to you remains: regardless of where they play in India, ये इस बार का IPL is going to be extremely different compared to what the Whistle Podu Express experienced last year. Because first of all, moving from here to there was one of the biggest death knells. And then as well, Vipul was also mentioning no Bajji, no Raina, already demoralized start for the
Yeah.
team in the IPL. And he just kept on getting from bad to worse. And even with one player initially who was performing, he also got injured, as Sid mentioned in Raidu. But ये सब के बाद उन्होंने जो दो तीन नया यंगस्टर्स ढूंढा है, माय पॉइंट इज आई वुड इतना ये फ्रेंचाइज कंटिन्यूटी, लॉयल्टी, फैमिली बिहेवियर, दिस दैट एंड द अदर के लिए जाना जाता है. माय पॉइंट इज कि आपको थोड़ा रूथलेसनेस दिखाना पड़ेगा. मैं अगेन, आप कब तक उस 36 ईयर ओल्ड को 37 ईयर ओल्ड तक, 38 ईयर ओल्ड तक, 39 ईयर ओल्ड तक खिलाते रहोगे जब आपके पास ऑलरेडी 24, 25, 26 साल के नए लड़के हैं. एंड नेक्स्ट ईयर, एज सिड हिमसेल्फ मेंशन्ड, you don't know what your combination is. So if you're going hell for leather, if you're just going pro, what is the 11 that you start, Mr. Rege?
Look, I agree that this season will not be the same as it was last season, but the memories of last season and what CSK lacked last season, I think that will still be fresh. And just for that very reason, I feel that in the initial games at least, CSK will go for a composition that they have been comfortable with. But with slight changes in terms of, yes, Ruturaj Gaikwad, who filled out that position, that hole at the top in the last three games. So now they can show that kind of confidence with him. So start him. You got Raina back, who is a tried and tested formula. You know, so you go with the same strategy in the initial game, so that because if you go for the rush decisions, you bring in a Jagdish and you bring in maybe a Sai Kishore, I don't think gets a spot. You'll have to oversee a few players before bringing in him. So, but then it creates a kind of a panic situation, if with Jagdish and also that doesn't work out. So to start off with, go with what you're comfortable with, just play Raidu, play Raina, play Dhoni. These players have performed for you, and then slowly maybe you can transition into a Jagdish and playing in that number four role. As you mentioned, Raidu might not be able to play those 14 games, because of his injury problems. So that transition can always happen. They have decent backups everywhere. You look throughout that team, Bravo and Karan, they can play each other's roles. And
Yeah.
that's why even though Josh Hazelwood has been a miss, I don't think it matters. It affects the team to that level. So initial strategy should be with what you were doing before last season happened and what worked for you for the longest time. So just to stabilize the situation at the club, and then you have these kinds of talents who have, I think, SMAT. This was the team at the said Musnad Ali Trophy, so you can always bring them in, and I think that's what they're going to do. That's why I think an Uttapa has also been brought in, because he in the top order, that's a decent backup option to go to.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सही बात है एकदम. आई थिंक रॉबिन उथप्पा, आई नो पीपल might look at it with a bit of a skewed thinking, sort of, or like
Yeah.
a little bit of a glint there, but I think it could end up being a very smart purchase on behalf
Yeah.
of the franchise.
Also,
It's
Kushagra, if you
clearly.
remember 2018 when CSK actually came back, Stephen Fleming said this thing. We are not here to, talk about young players and young players and young players only. We are
They
here
were
to
there
win
to
the
win.
IPL.
They were there to
Yeah.
win 5 years down the line. I get that point. Yeah, absolutely get that point. I'll come to you, Vipul. First of all, well done, man. Well done. Congratulations on your debut of sorts, as these guys mentioned there as well. But coming back to you, bro. As a fan, what do you think? What do you make of what do you make of this composition as well? And where do you expect the team to finish? I mean, where would you be happy? मत करना बदतमीज तू.
Look for
This is funny.
hello.
कर कर.
Yeah, yeah, KD, can you complete
Yeah,
your
please.
question, please?
My question was, as a fan, in terms of the feeling amongst the fans. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, sure, you
Mm-hmm.
must have a few other friends as well who support the franchise, and
Yeah.
who are looking to probably make some predictions as well of where the team would finish, how the team would do. what do you see as an acceptable goal for this particular season? And if you want to make any predictions as well for the upcoming season, also if you
Uh,
could give me a player that you are really looking out for.
I'm really looking out for Ruturaj Gaikwad this season.
All
Three
right.
man of the match in three consecutive games, that too in your first IPL season. That's not a small thing at all. I think he must have a
Absolutely.
400, 450 season. If he does that, he will be a top contender for CSK next season. If not, I mean, they may not retain him, but they will at least use RTM for him in the next mega auction. And as far as CSK is concerned, I think there are only two factors. How much can Raina and MS deliver with the bat? If they can be even 75% of what they were in their prime, then I can assure you you will see CSK playing another final. If not, then yeah, maybe a number 5 or number 6 finish at best. Because apart from them, be it their international players or be it Indian players like Deepak Chahar, Shardul Thakur, Jadeja and all, these guys either they play for their country or they have been playing domestic cricket on a regular basis and they have been doing really well. The problem for them comes with Raina and MS, the main two pillars who have been short on match practice. Again, I guess the training camp started on 8th of March, so it's been almost a month since MSD has been training. I'm a little
Yeah.
concerned about Raina because he joined in late. So let's hope he's not rusty to start off.
But
Even if he
Vipul,
is, he gets it off
just
in
as
two
an
or three
inside
games.
info, if I could give you, Suresh Raina's home is not very far from where Pratmesh lives, and so
Yeah.
his academy is also not very far. Suresh Raina has been
Yes.
practicing since
Has been
Jan,
training there for quite a while. Yeah.
probably even before
No,
January.
look, I mean, again,
I mean,
training
look,
is
really,
one
I mean,
thing, but
my question, Vipul, is यार वो वानखेड़े में जाके वही बॉलिंग मशीन से छक्के मारना और यहाँ पे दिल्ली में बॉलिंग मशीन पे छक्के मारना, बॉलिंग मशीन पे तो छक्के मार रहे हो.
नहीं बॉलिंग मशीन पे छक्के मारे वो बात बराबर है बट द प्रॉब्लम इज कि when you face quality bowlers when he goes in the CSK nets apart from facing a few domestic bowlers he'll be facing the likes of Deepak Chahar, Shardul Thakur, Jadeja and all who play international cricket for India on a regular basis. But when you're in Delhi in your own academy आप bowling machine पे छक्के मारो या कोई 130 पे bowling कर रहा है उसको छक्के मारो बात तो एक ही है the main problem for him is the short ball.
Match practice.
शॉर्ट बॉल के अगेंस्ट हाँ शॉर्ट बॉल के अगेंस्ट इफ ही इज गुड इनफ दैट्स द ओनली एरिया दैट टारगेट हिम so अगर if he has a solution for that because Raina I mean we all know what he did in his prime. I think
Hmm.
yeah, it was McCallum who said in one of his interviews when he played for CSK in 2014 and 15 the message from Stephen Fleming was very clear to their top three that if you are batting in the top three for CSK you need to win me two games in the league stage because you are batting in a position where you can have maximum impact on the game. So with Raina, I mean, he's a 400 run bank. He's been doing that almost every year. So if he can do that once again, then yeah, I mean, apart from that, everything else is sorted. They have the replacements. They have guys who are ready to be a part of their first choice playing 11. And also there are people like Ruturaj and Jagdishan who can be a good prospect in the longer run.
Fair enough, fair enough. And where do you expect them to finish?
As I told you, it all depends on Raina and MS. If they do well, they are going to the playoffs for sure. Otherwise, yeah, at number five
मुश्किल है
or
फिर.
number six, yeah.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. Actually, that's again, electricity seems to have deserted Pratmesh. And on that note, we'll be quickly wrapping up. Pratmesh, if you could, before your laptop also loses, oh, आ गई वापस. Anyway, still, तू पहले अपने comments दे दे before I go to Rohaina. यार मैं तेरा पुराना नाम तो पढ़ ही नहीं पाया गुलाटीवाड़. Rohan Raj Gulatiwad. But yeah, Pratmesh,
Exactly.
if you could give us your final thoughts on on the discussion on CSK, what do you expect out of them? As Vipul said, he's looking out for Ruturaj Gaikwad. Any particular player beyond the obvious, MS and Raina and maybe probably in Gaikwad, as he's already mentioned, that you're looking out from CSK, and where do you expect them to finish?
First of all, I mean, talking about that player to look out for, MS Dhoni. I know we haven't talked a lot about him, but MS Dhoni and his brilliance, how that comes into the forum is going to be absolutely important. We kind of know how good MS is, especially in Indian conditions. Not just as a batter, but as a captain, he knows most pitches really well. He knows most conditions really well overall as well. He knows which composition works better where. So I guess that knowledge of playing the game in India is definitely going to help MS Dhoni here, and the CSK team management is his aura is there for everyone to see. including people like Sam Curran who have gotten inspired, and Sam has talked about this as well in the recent interview that he gave, after coming into the CSK franchise. So I guess it is a very underrated quality, but it's there for everyone to see, and I think there will be an positive effect of that. Coming to the player to watch out for me, it's personally Faf du Plessis, because I mean we have been talking about a lot of Jagdishans and the Gaikwads, and yeah, last season Faf du Plessis scored, if I'm not wrong, 449 runs with a strike rate of 140, which is brilliant in itself, an average of about 40 again. So in a season where CSK did not particularly do well, Faf du Plessis was again very good. He was good smashing the ball in the middle overs as well, something that CSK genuinely lacked last year, and probably might have trouble this year as well. In the probably in the number 3 or number 4 positions, where
And
Raina.
those spectacular catches that he pulls off at long off and long on.
Exactly. I mean, the catches that he pulls off are like totally just brilliant, and I guess that is a major difference. Faf du Plessis absolutely adds to this team, and again, another captain who I think another one who's a captain for his team as well in the South African team. So I guess that experience and know-how somewhere will come to the fore for CSK as well. Um, they are a good squad. I feel they're balanced. They've filled most of their gaps. Someone like Moeen Ali coming in obviously adds to the finishing efforts as well. You probably go with Moeen, Karan, and Dhoni in the end, and Jadeja, which is a very decent enough 3 or 4 players to finish the innings off for you. As you guys have been talking about, I think Faf du Plessis, someone like Gaikwad, Jagdishan or Raina in the middle order as well. They're very good in giving that impetus to the innings. You have good bowlers who can take wickets on many conditions. Someone like Deepak Chahar, Shardul Thakur, Sam Karan. You have the Tahirs. You have your Santners, and you have, I think, Lungi and Geet, who also takes wickets. This is a good team. Whether they are able to overcome that barrier of the top 4, I think they finish fourth. I think they have enough in them in Indian conditions, especially in those 5 matches in Mumbai, where CSK have historically played really well. It is because of all the players that they have. They do well in bouncing conditions, and especially all of these players who like to play on the up. Most of them do that, and I guess that is one of the major reasons why CSK do well at Mumbai. Bengaluru again, small grounds, a lot of hitters. They can clear the ground very easily. Kolkata again has become a fast bowling deck now, so the ball bounces really well. Someone again, CSK can do well in these conditions as well. So I guess CSK batters have it in them to push them to top 4. Whether the bowlers can do it or not is a question mark. But if I had to put my bet on them, I would put them on a fourth position.
We don't need bowlers. We just need one bowler, Lord Shardul. He'll be enough.
Lord.
Yeah, he will be enough. I mean, if the way he's playing right now, he's good enough to pick 20, 25 wickets himself. I mean that could be good enough on most days.
All right, मतलब अगर वो 25 विकेट मतलब बहुत ज्यादा रन्स के साथ आए तभी तो प्रॉब्लम है. लेट्स सी हाउ ही गोज इन T20 cricket.
Yeah.
Not particularly convinced there. रोहन, आई विल एंड विद यू मैन. तो लास्ट के जो करीब 8-10 कमेंट्स हैं मैं जल्दी से लेके देन इट इज योर टर्न फॉर अस. लोकेश, मैं इस कमेंट पढ़ पढ़ के तब से हंसे जा रहा हूँ. लोकेश आस्क्स, किसका खेल हो बे इस बार? Lagan never gets old. Lagan never gets old. One word from each of the panelists on Fakhar Zaman's 193 and QDK. Nothing on QDK. That's just that's just it is. I don't know why.
I absolutely loved what QDK did. That was cunning. That was cunning. I loved it.
But it was nowhere comparable to what Fakhar Zaman did. Like, what an innings! It's one of the best one-day innings I've seen in such a long time. भाई वो बंदा खड़े होके ऐसे लंबी सांस भर के जो चौके छक्के मारे उसने, भाई मजा आ गया. कल तो फखर जमान
had no boundaries.
एक बंदा टिक गया होता ना उसके साथ, तो ये चेज हो गया होता स्कोर. एक बंदा टिक गया.
For them was Babar Azam with 31 runs, so that's the kind of impact that.
Imagine, yeah.
193 and then 31.
Yeah, exactly. When he got out, Pakistan were barely 310, 311. So Pakistan had scored 118 runs. He had scored 193 runs. Basically, that was the thing.
Also,
incredible.
I think in that 47th or 46th over, he took Nokia for I think 14 or 15 runs without
Nokia जो कि पूरे पाकिस्तानी बैटिंग अटैक को परेशान कर रहा था, उसको पता ही नहीं था मैं बॉल कहाँ डालूं. रबाडा को मारा यार. He hit Rabada for 3 consecutive 4s. तबरेज शम्सी को तो बॉल ही नहीं डालने दे रहा था यार. 3 लगातार 6 आई थॉट कि युवराज का रिकॉर्ड हो जाएगा बराबर वहां पे.
बट
Who will
I
अच्छा
be the
हुआ
mean,
7 रन
highest?
कम मार दे.
yeah.
Who will be the
In a
highest?
way, if you are a Rohit Sharma fan, you're happy that he's scored 7 runs rest. But again, I mean, a fantastic innings, taking nothing
Doesn't
away from
matter,
it.
bro. It
I
doesn't matter
remember
if
the
you're Rohit Sharma fan.
2017 Champions League final, Champions Trophy final rather, sorry, where he played another brilliant innings against India at that time. And I guess yesterday was another day where, as I said, his self belief had no boundaries. He just kept crossing it, and he was just absolutely fantastic. I guess after a while, जब वो last 2-3 over की बात है, it was too much work for him to do. 50 in 3 overs, very much in his hands. But after he scored 193 runs, sometimes it can be a little too much to do as well. It needed an extra bit, and I guess Fakkar unfortunately couldn't get it over the line. I loved it.
Yeah. Who will be the highest wicket taker for CSK this season? I don't know. I mean, like that's a tough question to
Lord
ask.
Shardul.
People, not Shardul. All right. धोनी का तो अभी भी 100 नहीं है. Kavan, that's the beauty, right? He's never really needed one. Certain
Yeah,
Pujara at the age of 17 used to 118, 190 in T20. That's such a CSK stat कि आज से 15 साल पहले ये होता था. तो we let's hope कि आज से 15 दिन बाद भी वैसे ही हो रहा हो. Sid, this going with reputation is what cost CSK in 2020. Yes, Raina, Raidu shouldn't and MSD shouldn't play together. I agree. In T20 today's time is without without brawn. Acha, brawl brain
without brawl, brain doesn't matter.
without
Yeah,
brawn. I guess he's what he meant. I guess I would be
yeah.
shocked if CSK reaches top four. Be surprised they don't finish bottom two. All right.
He said
इतना
twice.
भयंकर कमेंट था कि भाई ने 2 बार ही भेजा. But Masu was given us his 11 with Faf, Gaikwad, Raina, Moin, Dhoni, Jaddu, Gautam, Karan, Bravo, Thakur and Chahar. A massive depth both in बैटिंग एंड बॉलिंग. मतलब आपने रायना को ड्रॉप कर दिया, रायना को खिलाया, सॉरी आपने राइडू को ड्रॉप किया है, आपने जगदीशन को ड्रॉप किया है, आपने ताहिर को ड्रॉप किया है और
एनगीडी
एंगड़ी.
एनगीडी को डेथ बॉलिंग में तो
आई
प्रॉब्लम हो
थिंक
जाएगा यार.
थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा डेथ बॉलिंग में. एग्जैक्टली. एंड ब्रावो किस बेसिस पे खेल रहा है, मैं
Yeah.
बहुत कंफ्यूज हूँ.
I think it could be
Kushagran,
it
just a
could be
clarification has come from CSK's end on one of the reports that was generated. They've said that Moeen Ali hasn't requested any removal of brand logos, whatever was being talked about in the last few days. वो जो एक SNJ का logo निकालने की बात हुई थी उनसे जर्सी से, that hasn't happened at all by Moeen Ali's side. It was
What
something
is
that
SNG?
it's a beer manufacturing company in Tamil Nadu. I guess that's the
All
thing.
right.
And they
Okay,
have
fair
that
enough.
brand logo on their t-shirts. And Moeen Ali, apparently, the media said that Moeen Ali requested that
यार देखो,
CSK
मीडिया
to bring down.
मीडिया ने तो भी कह दिया कि शुभमन गिल सेज कि स्ट्राइक रेट्स डोंट मैटर. तो
Exactly.
मीडिया को तो छोड़
And
दो.
also,
मीडिया को तो छोड़
again,
दो.
they've
मीडिया कुछ भी
confirmed
कहती
that
है.
they are waiting on a replacement. They're waiting on a
हाँ.
replacement in mid-season. They will decide whether they want a Josh Hazelwood replacement. They reconfirmed that again today.
Let's see. We'll see about that. Gaikwad, Jagdishan, Sai Kishore, all three should be given a go. All right. Truth is, CSK is hoping for Ryan and MSD to turn back the clocks to 2015, which is highly unlikely. Absolutely, brother. CSK is definitely not finishing bottom two. They have a good depth in every department except death bowling, but it's MSD, the most brilliant captain out of the 8 captains. Indian media yeah, feels like KD was happy when KG and Nokia were hit all over the park. DC fan. I am always happy to watch nice cricket, buddy. I mean, शिवम, हर चीज मेरे लिए ना आईपीएल के लेंस से नहीं होती. ठीक है, मतलब जस्ट सेइंग, लाइफ में मैं आईपीएल के बियॉन्ड भी जीता हूँ. जस्ट सेइंग, लाइक मतलब हैशटैग पीस, राइट. एंड ऑन दैट नोट आई विल कम टू यू रोहाइना. भाई ये बताओ तुम कि क्या सीन है, क्या व्हाट हैव यू मेड आउट ऑफ इट. तुम्हें क्या लगता है कि ताला की टीम कहाँ फिनिश करेगी, कैसा फिनिश करेगी, एंड व्हाट डू यू एक्सपेक्ट आउट ऑफ देम दिस सीजन?
I think firstly they are definitely going in top four. मतलब I don't doubt, because like squad को मैं ना भी देखो, I just see MS Dhoni and the way he has delivered results throughout for the country and the franchise. I just don't doubt him. Last year भी they were down and out, लेकिन still last में it was looking कि maybe they were just one match short eventually. After a terrible season,
Yeah.
they were just 1 or 2 matches short. So like that's the beauty of MSD. And like मतलब वो कर देंगे, कुछ ना कुछ कर देंगे. एंड द थिंक टैंक इज लाइक दैट, स्टीफन फ्लेमिंग पीछे से कुछ ना कुछ करते रहते हैं ये लोग, लेकिन ये नहीं मतलब होता कि बाहर बाहर लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं, गालियां दे रहे हैं, ऐसे नहीं खिला रहे, उसे नहीं खिला रहे, एमएसडी आएगा, स्पार्क का कमेंट करेगा, ही डजंट केयर, वो बोल के चले जाएंगे, दे डोंट केयर। या विपुल, यू वांटेड टू से?
हाँ, दैट वन मैच दैट यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट, वो जो अबू धाबी में केकेआर के अगेंस्ट हारे थे ना, वही भारी पड़ गया, नहीं तो क्वालिफाई हो जाते थे लास्ट ईयर।
Yeah, I think I would have loved if you guys had won the match. हमारा तो एनीवेज कुछ हुआ नहीं, तुम लोग ही चले जाते एटलीस्ट, बट कोई बात नहीं।
भाई
तो
लास्ट ईयर किसी का कुछ नहीं होना था, मुंबई को जीतना था, इट्स वेरी ऑब्वियस।
हाँ, मतलब या मतलब ठीक है, छोड़ो वो टॉपिक, बाद में बात करेंगे। Talking about the team, I think firstly Rituraj Gaikwad has to start. He looked good. And I would love to see Jagdishan at number 4. Like, I think number 4 पे Jagdishan will fit in perfectly. He played a good knock last season. And like, अगर उसके आगे पीछे रैना और धोनी जैसा एक्सपीरियंस है ना, so he can play freely. Like, उसके बाद फ्री हैंड होगा, बिकॉज वो दोनों एंकर वाला रोल और वो सब संभाल सकते हैं, बाई चांस आउट हो गया तो। Jagdishan can go out and express himself. And Jagdishan has played under a very good leader in the form of Dinesh Karthik, and now he has a very good leader in the form of MS Dhoni. So I think अच्छे leaders के under Jagdishan is here to perform. Ravindra Jadeja will be key because Jadeja को वो role I think last year वो कम बैटिंग कर रहे थे, like वो ज्यादा उन्हें ओवर नहीं मिल रहे थे, लास्ट के 2 ओवर 3 ओवर मिलना इज नॉट गुड इनफ फॉर जडेजा। ही नीड्स टू बैट, लाइक केकेआर को डाउनराइट इन्होंने बाहर किया था जडेजा ने, the when he like completely tongued Lockie Ferguson out of the park. So he needs to bat 4-5 overs at least towards the end. And with Moeen Ali there, I think proper solid team है, मजेदार है। I would love to see Bravo and Karan both. I am routing on Bravo. मुझे लग रहा है कि he will have a good season. थोड़ा सा और डेवलप कर लिया होगा अपनी आर्मरी में, because that's what Dwayne Bravo is all about. And he never fails to surprise. I think there is something left, like one season left in him. And I think it could be this season, because next year तो anyways mega auction में सारे players बाहर होने वाले हैं, so I think it could be
Absolutely.
yeah. So I think
I think
top
Bravo
four.
has one more
Let's
song
just
left in
hope they
him.
use
One more song.
Jadeja. Yeah, let's just hope they use Jadeja more with the bat, but not the way KKR were using Narain last year.
नहीं नहीं बिल्कुल भी नहीं, and frankly speaking I think Jadeja is too good a player now to be used, underused or not used with the bat properly, as you said. So reading on to Vipul's handle there, you can see start the whistles. So of course that's the eventual aim. I'll just take the final few comments. Amit says Varun हम भी यहीं तुम भी हो हैं तुम भी यहीं हो, IPL के बाद याद दिलाऊंगा obviously Amit। अनुराग से क्लिक्स के पीछे भागते सच्चाई को फेस पाम करती हुई इंडियन मीडिया, #clicksdogs। अमित हाँ भाई देखेंगे। Also you support KKR, right? They'll finish above KKR too. I watch IPL like a stoner watches movies with shifting loyalties. All right. True, Amit. Nothing against CSK. It will be very difficult for CSK to qualify for top 4. Obviously they'll finish 5th. All right. We'll see. Though I want to see how Pant captains this year. So you can say I'm rooting for DC this year. Why not, buddy? Why not? तो कल आना होगा तुम्हें फिर, मतलब अमित anyone but MI and CSK, तो CSK बोल दिया। Attendance, Atul is saying attendance. By no attendance already आ चुका है, no attendance for you. But on that note, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone who's joined in, all the people who joined in the comments. Thank you so much to Vipul, Siddharth, and of course I'll call Siddharth separately and Rege separately because you're just Rege. Rehaina is better than Rohaina. I get what you're saying. Tweet करवा देता उससे, ठीक है?
Okay, fair enough.
Right,
We're not
right.
getting into a debate here. Yeah.
देखिए कभी-कभी मैं भी फनी हो जाता हूँ तुक्के से, but ठीक है तो but yeah, the massive thanks to the both of you, Afzal as well, and no controversy from my end. Rohan says all bullshit. And of course, PB,
Yeah.
thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for hosting as well. Guys, कल Delhi Capitals को हम लोग cover करेंगे, तो do keep an eye out for. We'll be doing a Delhi Capitals 11 video that should be out midday or late afternoon tomorrow, and the 10 p.m. live will of course be dedicated to Delhi Capitals.
Also, Kushagra will be hyping every Every Delhi Capitals player to the end of the world tomorrow. Go
Varun says
watch.
MI SCSK finals with hoping for that. I mean, this is like a blast from the past, isn't it, Varun? Why not? MI yes, CSK no chance in L. Amit says Elma stop the agenda, mate. So agenda, yeah, I don't think CSK are good enough. I think Amit is right in that sense. But अगर होगा तो you never know. थाने प्रीमियर लीग में थेनोस थैनोस के अलावा कोई नहीं
यार
खोलता.
ये प्रोपेगेंडा फिल्टर लाओ यार.
Carrying on the
Yeah,
chat,
exactly. I
and
mean,
no one but MI or DC. All right, Anurag, funny. Surya happy. All right. On that note, before the comments devolve into something else, do check out the Sports Domain website. Do check us out all of on our socials as well. Do give Bipul a follow, man. I mean, I'm sure you must have enjoyed. You must have enjoyed him. We'll try to get him back as much more as we can. And to all the other panelists, thank you once again. Check our socials out, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're there as the Sports Domain everywhere. Check out our YouTube channel, which you're already on. और भी पुराने वीडियोस देखिए, जाइए, थोड़ा व्यूज दीजिए, थोड़ा दोस्तों को भेजिए, थोड़ा ना सब्सक्राइबर काउंट बढ़ाइए. And up until then, we will of course be here every day covering the IPL for you up until 10 p.m. tomorrow, that which is live. We will see you soon, and tata.